Welcome to Charts Today. My name's David Linton, and today's edition for Tuesday, the 6th of June, comes to you from London. And some quite big changes going on in the markets overnight. So we're seeing here the dollar index still just teetering along the floor here on the bearish trend. So we are just seeing the dollar weakening, still short-term, medium-term. Big question is, will this long-term trend hold? We do have a downside target to 93 on the dollar index. And quite a lot of resistance, so we are just seeing that dollar fall away. The euro, interestingly, of course, is doing the reverse. So we're seeing the euro just nudging new highs here. We're just about to touch this 113 level, and we're just poking through the cloud. So the big question is, can we do that? And if we look at the weekly chart in the euro longer term, it's been a long time since we've been through the cloud. We have been through on the price. And at the moment, it's too early to say. Remember, this is a weekly chart. We'd want to be above this level for 3 weeks. So key thing is we did see that the euro has been in quite a long-term decline, and we've had these periods where we have come back above the cloud. But the question now is, can we see a sustained move there as well? So quite significant that we're just seeing that potential change in trend. The big one, of course, is that we start negating some of these downside targets as well. So we look at the Japanese yen. We see here the dollar really falling away very strongly. So this is actually yen strength, dollar weakness, and so the dollar falling here, and the yen is bullish on all 3 time frames, and the yen is often seen as a risk on trade. So we're just seeing that playing through strong yen, weak dollar. And we're looking at sterling. Sterling just showing some strength as well, short term above the cloud, but again the long term chart is bearish. Sterling against the euro is fairly flat at the moment. It has been mostly about sterling declining against the euro strength, but we are just seeing that just flattening out at the moment, short term. And if we look at sterling against the Swiss franc, we have activated this downside target of 120. We are just seeing that negating as well. And against the Australian dollar, we see here that sterling is just weakening again, so Australian dollar strength really showing through here at the moment, back into the 172.90s area. Looking at stock markets, the US stock market held its gains from Friday yesterday, down very slightly, but we're seeing that we are just holding this gain, and we've got 4% upside in the short term, quite a few medium term targets, 6%, 11%, and this new one of 28% activated. So the market's looking very strong indeed. NASDAQ also looking very bullish. The Dow not quite nudging to these new highs, just testing there. We're seeing on the weekly chart just getting there, but at the moment not quite as bullish as the Nasdaq and the S&P. And at the other end of the scale, the broader Russell 2000 index is bullish, but again just struggling to break to new highs for this year. So the broader market's still just struggling a little bit, but not exactly falling. If we look at the S&P future, it's down 0.2% at the moment, so we may see a slight sell-off at the opening, and the Nasdaq down 0.12%. So again, maybe just slightly lower at the opening, but too early to say. The FTSE 100 index was down yesterday, and we're just holding on to this bullish trend, but the steepness of trend is not so strong at the moment. 2% upside on the short term and nearly 5% on the medium term. Long term targets of 9 and 20%, so still a bullish situation. The FTSE 250 just selling off, prices coming back below the cloud, but not on the lagging line yet, and we do have a 6% upside target here as well. Has had an amazing run this year. If we look at the 250, it's really looking very strong indeed. The DAX also looking strong, still bullish above the cloud, and multiple targets now of 1% and 5%, so it looks like we've got further to run there. The Nikkei down nearly 1% on that stronger yen, so we're just seeing that stronger currency hitting Japanese stocks, but we are still bullish above the cloud on all three charts. Long-term upside of 40%. Again, 38% showing through here as a target, and 17 this new activated target, and the 7.5 not yet activated. So short term, we just might see a bit of a sell-off. Look at the Hang Seng Index, that's looking bullish all round. The Shanghai Index just recovering off the bottom, bullish short term, but the medium and long term charts have still got work to do. And the Indian market looking bullish on all three timeframes, still one of the strongest looking markets globally at the moment. The Australian market just struggled to get above the cloud there, still looking bearish. Bearish in the medium term. Aussie stocks just not looking quite as good right now. And if we look at Brent Crude, we're seeing that we're still bearish below the cloud. We're bearish in the medium term, and that summer sell-off that we expect to see for the second half of the year just starting to play through. And if we look at WTI, much the same picture, up this morning but still below the cloud. US NatGas falling below $3 at $2.99, so we are just seeing that short-term weakness now filtering through. Some of the softs we talked about yesterday recovering today, but still bearish on all three time frames here on coffee. If we look at cocoa, again it's bearish long and medium term, short term just trying to recover. If we take a look at sugar, that was down strongly over the last few days, just still bearish even though it's up 1% today. A lot of volatility there in the softs. Big story is gold. Gold, we had this target, remember, of 1293. We're certainly just nudging 1288, 1289 this morning. We've jumped again. Gold bullish on all three time frames. The big story really is these trends changing. The trend is changing on the medium and long term charts. So we're starting to see gold looking stronger and stronger. And if we look at silver, similar picture, just jumping a little bit higher this morning, getting back into bullish territory on the medium term. So precious metals starting to look pretty good. US Treasury yields down to 2.16%, so we are just seeing those coming under pressure. Rate rises less and less on the cards. And if we look at Apple, still bullish above the cloud. Google looking stronger, bullish on all three time frames. Amazon looking still strong, above $1,000 on all three time frames, bullish. Facebook nudging new highs yesterday. Again, we've got good upside targets here all round. And Microsoft has really jumped lately, and we're seeing still another 4% to play for there. So that's looking pretty bullish too. That's it for today. Until tomorrow, happy charting. See you then.